All right, so I actually put a poll up, so we'll see how that poll is looking when we're done. But really quick, Reed Sheppard. I don't have that many thoughts. I feel like fundamental wise, it's all there. Like I think he's fundamentally sound. His 3-point shot is beautiful. His stroke game is beautiful. No Diddy. It really is impressive. Like truly is impressive. But it just seems as if, and he makes the right plays as well, like passes the ball pretty well. But it just seems as if when I'm watching him, it's like, can he put it all together? Because I don't think he has like the physical tools to necessarily be like people have brought up. Oh, he's like Steph Curry. I don't see that. I think he dribbles the ball fairly well, but I don't see him being a Steph Curry. I don't think his creativity is enough. I could see him being a role player in the NBA for sure. I don't know if the ball will be in his hands like a lot of the times. I think some people have said, is he like a pure point guard or can he be a point guard? It's like maybe, but I don't think that that'll be the case. I think what I'm really worried about though is not only the physical tools and the creativity offensively, but I'm really worried about his defense. Really worried about it because he has the hands. Like he has really great hands as far as like I said, fundamental wise, it's there. He's a smart player, but gosh, it seems like he avoids contact, dude. I don't know. I mentioned this before. And I think that's when your computer just shut off. But he does a lot of ball watching. He takes a lot of gambles. Was it the game versus the Florida where he looked really terrible defensively? Like it was like full display. Was that the game?
Yeah, he looked pretty bad against Florida. I mean, even his last game of the season when they got upset by Oakland, he was the guy assigned to guard that kid that was going ballistic from 3 on Oakland, and he could not stay with him.
Yeah. It seems like his brain just kind of I don't know. He can't afford those mental lapses, especially when he already doesn't have some of the physical tools to keep up. I mean, laterally, it seems like he's always trying to recover. I mean, always. So it just kind of worries me a little bit. I won't buy into the hype of people saying is he the next this, is he the next that. I just think that he'll be a pretty solid role player in the NBA, not somebody that's going to just destroy your team. And I think one thing that gets people excited is they see that 52% from 3 and they're like, oh my god, what can he be in the NBA? And it's like, well, he's not going to shoot 52%, and he's also only shooting about 4 threes a game. So yeah, anyways, what are your what are your overall thoughts about him? I guess I'm just not that high on him as some people, but
no, I like Reed. I'm not that high on him either. I think, again, with the nature of this draft, I don't think he'd be talked about going top 3 any other time. Really, I think he is a good fit in Houston at 3. But I mean, like you said, he's kind of what they call an analytics darling.
Yeah,
he's got the shooting efficiency, he's got the defensive metrics and all that. So everybody's really enticed. He can score from 3 levels, most comfortable from like mid-range and out, and catch off the bounce. He's got a nice shot. He gets teammates easy looks. But I mean, the thing is, like, he doesn't have ideal size and physique. I think he's going to be a fine player, but Curry's a stretch. Curry was very quick in college, an insane ball handler in college. I mean, Curry, there were nights he was putting up 30 multiple nights in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, Reed Sheppard, here's an interesting thing for you. So, his scoring is real up and down. He had like 7 games where he scored 20 or more points.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you look at his game log, he had like 12 or 13 where he had less than 10. So it's a real up and down thing there for him. He struggles to get off shots against good defenses because he's not a primary ball handler. He's good at running the pick and roll, but he's just not much of a creator there. And, we saw at Oakland, struggling to hit shots there. I mean, in that game against Oakland, he was 1 of 3 from 3, and it took until the very end to get that shot to go. It was a deep 3, but he could not get going because they were playing tight defense on him, and he struggles with that. Yeah, I think he's best suited to playing a specific role on a team.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's a point guard per se, because he played more of an off guard role next to Dillingham at Kentucky. I mean, that's why I keep saying I think Houston is a good situation because they need kind of that off ball guard that doesn't need the ball in his hands all the time there.
Mm-hmm.
I think his defense will be fine. I don't think he's going to be a brute force defender like people are saying.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that say he's Steph Curry or something like that. I don't see that. He honestly reminds me a bit more of like Kirk Heinrich, who was also a very good player.
Mm-hmm.
And all that. But yeah, he tanked that vertical test. I mean, he even talked about it himself, with not putting his hands up as high, so it looked like he had more athleticism than he does. He's going to be a fine player, but it's just a tough one to want to take top 5 for me there.
Well, one thing that worries me defensively too is I'm pretty sure he's not going to be able to guard 2 guards. Like I think he's only going to be able to guard maybe point guards. I don't think he'll be able to. It just seems like a switching nightmare, right? If I'm just thinking of in the Spurs perspective, like if you were to take him, we need some serious guys next to Wemby right now. And don't get me wrong, like he could be somebody that eventually comes off the bench and he's a part of the bigger picture. But I think the Spurs got some really great options at 4 and 8, which I don't know if you want to take it on, somebody that's possibly like a role player. But gosh, I could just see him being a switching nightmare. Am I out of pocket for that, or?
No, I don't think so at all. He's undersized. He's got good defensive instincts, and he's good at getting steals and lanes and stuff. But like the biggest thing there is defensive playmaking like that does not equal lockdown defense. And there's been a lot of times this year where he's not in the right position off the ball, or he doesn't make quick reactions or quick reads on defense and all that. He's smart, so I think he'll be all right, but he's not going to be this elite defender people are expecting. Honestly, I've seen scouts say that they view him more as like a Dante DiVincenzo guy who's more of an offensive energizer and just like okay on defense. But even then, I mean, how tall is DiVincenzo? I don't actually.
He looked like he's like 6'5".
I know he's taller. I think he's like 6'4" or something like that. So, and Reed is listed at 6'2", so he's a little taller. But yeah, I don't see this elite player that people are talking about.
So somebody say Clan hates shooters. He's living in 2014. It's like, no, I don't hate shooters. I just think these are better prospects available. I love shooters, but I mean, do I take somebody who's phenomenal defensively and has a lot of versatility on the defensive end, and even the offensive end, athletic wise, and has just so much promise when it comes to those parts of their game? Or do I take somebody who's a shooter that's just going to be a role player? Like, I don't know. I feel like one might be a little harder to get than the other, right? Like that's just how I view it. One just might be a little harder to get than the other.
You loved Josh Primo, and he was a shooter when we drafted him. That's basically all he was when we drafted him. He was an upside swing.
Yeah, I love what Devin Vassell brings, and I mean, he scores, he shoots his butt off. So I mean, obviously shooting is important. I obviously think shooting is important. I just don't think. I just feel like if you're it's harder to find some lockdown defenders and guys at certain size that have certain skill sets than it is to find someone who is a shooter that you could get maybe in free agency or something like that. Like I don't think it's as hard to find like those specialty players as it is someone that with ultimate upside like Buzel is, or like Holland, or Castle. So, but yeah, let's see what the people said. All right, so oh gosh, it's all over the place. Okay, it's still jumping. Okay, just end it. All right, so I said, would you take? Because I felt like Reed Sheppard at 4 just seemed kind of high. I feel like most people wouldn't say this, but I said, would you take him at 8? 75% said yes. 24% said no. So I don't know. I'm starting to feel like these polls need a little bit more context. I don't know. Check all bad shooting teams. They are all with a lot of L's. You know who was.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you go out and immediately. I mean, we still have free agency too. We need shooters, absolutely, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean you have to go out and draft one immediately. Now that said, I'm not opposed to drafting someone because of their shooting, but I just think we're still in a stage where we need to be looking for more when we do that.
The most valuable asset you have in the NBA, especially in the direction the NBA is going, is your draft picks, your lottery picks. I just would not use it on a guy that could potentially just end up being a role-playing, sharpshooter. Like, I think sharpshooting is important. Don't get me wrong. It is very important. But I don't know if I would go out of my way to use my draft pick for that. When it could be some guys it's going to be some guys that are specialty three-point shoot that could be available. Shoot, Abaji, right? How's Abaji doing? I haven't kept up. How's Abaji doing?
I mean, I don't think he's like elite three-point shooter. I mean, he's decent.
No, I mean with his team, are they like getting ready to are they trying to keep him, or I have no idea what's going on with that situation.
Oh Lord, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Because I don't know if they were like if there was any news that they were thinking to trade him or anything like that. I'm just saying that was one guy that came to my mind where it's like after a couple seasons they might not be showing that much promise, and you can just grab them. That could that Spurs take. Hey, this is your role. This is all we need you to do, and they become elite at that. I mean, I hate to say it, but Brent Forbes became a pretty good shooter as well. I don't think he did too hot, in other places. Well, he did okay with the Bucks, right? He did okay.
Ironically, he did better with the physicality part after the league, but fucking idiots.
He a 69 god. Run for your life.
Hey.
All right, let's see.